Hello, everyone out there in Occhi Magazine land. It's Darryl Yokley. It's been a while since I've done an interview. Been out busy and everything, but I'm glad to be back in front of you all. And I'm here with my boy Alex Apolo Ayala. Welcome. How you doing, man?
Good morning, my brother. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yes. I'm glad we're both indoors. It's cold out today. How's it over there in Brooklyn? Is it cold over there?
Yeah, it's cold, a little bit foggy, but nothing that a good morning coffee can cure.
Oh, okay, good, 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 good. Okay, let's see. Well, we're here today discussing your album. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Bámbula. Is that great?
That's right, Bámbula.
Oh man, yeah. So this is your debut album as a leader, man. I heard it. It sounds amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a TR family or anything. But it just sounds amazing, man. Like it's I was like, man, you can't stop dancing, you can't stop moving, and just head bopping the whole thing.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. It's set to come out this Friday, February 11th, 2022.
Wow.
So how
Friday?
yeah,
Wow. Oh, wow.
yeah, it's just no go. I had to think about it for a second myself, but yeah, it's already the middle of February, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Very fast.
How you feeling, man? Are you excited? Or?
Yeah, I just can't believe it's Friday, man. Yeah. I know February goes fast, but damn,
Yeah, yeah.
it's Friday. Wow.
Yeah,
It's
it's not go quick. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's same with me. I just had my 40th birthday last week, and I'm just like snuck up on me too.
happy
Yeah.
birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I made it. I made it to 40. I didn't think I would some days, but I did.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, but enough about me. I want to have you talk about the album since it's going to be coming out. First off, congratulations on your debut as a leader, man. I know how that feeling is. It's exciting and everything. Um, how did this album come about? I guess we'll start there. How did it come about for everything?
Well, Bámbula is the culmination of a journey.
Hmm.
That's how the album came about. The journey started back in 2019 with my dear mother fell sick to the lupus disease
Hmm.
back home in Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
That was in August 2019. She was hospitalized for a while, battling the lupus for a while, and then in October of that year, she joined the Lord. Um, and that was in October 2019, right? And
Hmm.
then 2020 arrived, March 2020, and then the pandemic happened.
Hmm.
So we were all in quarantine. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody has a lot of free time. Everybody's glued to their phones.
Hmm.
Um, and in the middle of my grief, the pandemic happened. And in the summer of 2020, the George Floyd murder happened.
Yeah.
Um, so I am dealing with my grief because of my mother. The stress of the pandemic, and now you have all this civil unrest going on in the country with George Floyd and the protests and everything that was going on. You
Hmm.
know, and so all of that just kept brewing in my inside of me, in my heart, in my soul. Um, so I started writing some music, but nothing concrete. I was just writing some music because I just had a lot of it was a lot going on, and as an artist, I wanted to let all that out. Um, and then in 2020 arrived, and then my grandmother, my dear grandmother, also passed away. Joined the Lord.
Hmm.
So all of those things were like ingredients that were just brewing to make this stew,
Hmm.
or this soup.
Hmm.
The family passing, the pandemic, the George Floyd and the civil unrest,
Hmm.
um, and then the racial reckoning that was going on in this country. And every time you talk about race, not just in this country but in the Latin community as well, it's
Yeah.
always, the conversation always starts, spinning, and the word identity, always comes out.
Hmm.
So yeah, all of these ingredients were just brewing. Um, and I don't know why, like in during that time, this DNA test, that this is the final ingredient to the perfect stew or soup. You know, this
Mhm.
DNA test of ancestry test, started to boom. Like everybody was doing one of those. They got
Oh,
very,
gotcha.
yeah, everybody just got very,
Oh,
got
me
one of those.
too.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so so I just fell, prey of that of those.
Mhm.
Uh, so I took two tests, one generic
Mhm.
and one that tells you specifically your African ancestry, right?
Mhm.
Well, I took the first one, and I was like, all right, I knew that already. But the
Mhm.
second one was the one that was key and really it was the catalyst of this album because it tested specifically my African ancestry,
Mhm.
and the result was 99.8% uh, Tika tribe of Cameroon. You know,
Oh, wow.
yeah, but it was 99 point. I mean, almost 100%. So at some point, throughout 500 years of the African diaspora, a Tika woman,
Mhm.
arrived in Puerto Rico, and I'm descendant of that woman.
Yeah.
When I got that result, that was the catalyst, and that was the key ingredient to me sitting down and writing all this music and putting into music all of this that was just kept brewing since 2019. My mother, my grandmother, my identity as an Afro-Puerto Rican man,
Mhm.
a tribute to my ancestors, because I discovered the tribe that I belong to, through these DNA tests. So all of those things combined into what is Bámbula today.
Oh, gotcha. Man,
Yeah.
that's heavy, man. I mean, I mean, yeah, of course, you have, the personal thing from family, but then it seems like, you kind of trace that, I guess, I'm trying to put it in words, but yeah, it's like, your family and you want to rediscover the past, like what led you up to your family. And then, of course, the George Floyd thing, you're kind of contemplating the stuff that the world you're living in and everything. So that's pretty deep, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a long process, because I just got reconnected with my roots, reconnected with my ancestry, with my identity as a Black Puerto Rican man living in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as an artist, I am the type of artist that I mean, I could write music just because I have a deadline of because I commission or I request or something. But if
Yeah.
I put the project together, and I'm gonna write a music, an album, it has to have a purpose. It has to have a meaning, a story behind it. Uh,
Right.
and yeah, all of these ingredients, all of these experiences that was going through, it was just the perfect ingredient for this album.
Gotcha.
That's why the album it's it's like I always say, it's authentic, it's an honest music as it comes because it's the result of a journey,
Mhm.
and life experiences for me.
Uh-huh. I see. How was the writing process for you? I know for myself, like I can't, like if it's my own project, I can't write quickly. Like it takes me a while to get through the whole thing.
Yeah. So it was once I had the concept in my mind, like this album is gonna be about this.
Hmm.
So bomba, for those who don't know, it's Puerto Rico's oldest music form. It
Hmm.
arrived, through the African diaspora 500 years ago. It's the
Hmm.
music that our ancestors brought to the Caribbean, specifically to Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
Um, so I said I knew that the album was gonna be based on this rhythm, because also I've been on a quest, if you will,
Hmm.
to highlight and to fight, and to expose our Afro Puerto Rican folklore and culture.
Hmm.
Um, so yes, it's gonna be Latin jazz, but it's not gonna be the Latin jazz that most people know, which is Afro-Cuban jazz. It's gonna be Afro-Puerto Rican jazz. And it's
Gotcha.
gonna be within this realm of bomba. And
Hmm.
bomba is our music, it's our culture, it's our identity, our heritage.
Mm-hmm.
African ancestors. So the base of the stew, like we call it in Puerto Rico, the sofrito,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be that
Yeah.
bomba. After that is the band and the sound and the concept. As a
Mm-hmm.
bass player, I love to play the instrument. The more I play the instrument and the more complex the music is, the better for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, huh. I fell in love with this format of like a sonic strolling type of trio, saxophone, bass, and drums. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm also gonna add, el tambor, the bomba drum.
Uh-huh.
So that concept and that sound, I had it in my ear. So okay, I have the rhythm, the sofrito, the bass, which is the bomba, the format I already have. Now, what's up with the rest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have my mother, my grandmother, my ancestors, me reconnected with my ancestors, with my culture.
Mm-hmm.
I also have this. I always wanted to do this one tune that is like a poem that
Mm-hmm.
highlights. It's a Puerto Rican version of "Black is Beautiful, Black is Gold."
Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's a famous tune, "Las Caras Lindas," which means the beautiful faces of my black people. And
Yes.
it's almost like a point highlighting, Afro-Puerto Rican, not Afro-Puerto Rican, but Afro-Caribbean and Afro-Latino
Yeah.
culture, and beauty,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do that, and I just kept, picking here and there, and everything came very natural. Everything came very, very easy because the album had a purpose, and the album had a story behind it. So yeah, I brought my electric bass. The melodies was there. Just working. You
Mm-hmm.
know, melodies, concept. What bomba rhythm, because bomba is a family of a lot of rhythms. Most people know the basic rhythm, which is sika, pa, dum, 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 pa, dum, dum, dum. But bomba has a lot of rhythms, and I had to sit down and really look for, okay, this is gonna be in this bomba rhythm. This tune is gonna be in this other bomba rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I wanted to bring back the
Mm-hmm.
spiritual side of bomba.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the music and the culture and the joy and the happiness and the party, but also the spiritual side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe that that has gotten lost a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's why I just started. Yeah, it was a research, but it didn't take me that long because I had the sound and I had the purpose and the mission in my head and in my heart. So yeah, it came pretty organic, if you will.
Oh, good. So it kind of just flew out, you got going and just and kept and just kind of came out.
Yeah,
Like,
because all the ingredients were right there in front of me. I
uh,
didn't have to look for like I said, if somebody, okay, I want you to do a bomba jazz, Afro-Puerto Rican jazz album, that would have been different. But it's like,
yeah.
oh, I have to sit down, I have to, but all the ingredients were right there in front of me because I was just living. I was living the tools.
Yeah.
Inspiration was just right there. I was living it. So
Yeah.
I just had to sit down and just channel all that and just put it into the paper.
Oh, good.
That's how it came out.
Nice. How long would you say was the total time from like the first tune to the last tune, the arrangement of Las Caras Lindas? Like, would you say it's like a couple months, or how long did it take you?
Honestly, I finished the whole tunes in about 3 weeks.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
So you,
yeah. I mean, but 3 weeks of waking up, you know, bathroom, a little bit of coffee and writing.
gotcha.
Then take a little break, then writing some more. Go have a gig. Maybe I'll keep working this. Next day, same thing. You know,
Gotcha.
but yeah, it came out very organically because and I had to look for the melodies. I have to
Mm-hmm.
look for the rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then there is no piano. It's a chordless format.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it has chords. It has a harmony,
Yes.
but I don't have to worry about the piano or the guitar.
Yeah.
So that was that helped a little. But yeah, in about 2-3 weeks, everything was there on the paper. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it was funny. I was listening to the album. I was like, man, without the piano, there, it actually kind of frees it up, like for the horn players, to kind of just like expand a little bit more harmonically and everything. And I think it freed it up. I don't know if it was just my ears, but it seemed like rhythmically there was more freedom to kind of navigate with it without the extra member as well. You know, so that was interesting, man. I was gonna ask, how did you form your band for this? I mean, you got Ivan Renta on there. I know Ivan. The percussionists and the drummers I'm not too familiar with, but I was listening. I was like, man, they're killing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the whole creative process ended, so now comes the fun part, right? Or the beginning of the fun part, which is putting the band together. Which members, and then so on and so forth. So first, Ivan, or Ivan in Spanish, Renta, he was the first option that came to mind because he's a bilingual player. He can navigate through the jazz language. He can play Latin music language, but also he knows the Puerto Rican music language and culture because he's Puerto Rican from Coamo, Puerto Rico. So he was my first option, but the caveat is that he has been playing tenor saxophone for a while now. And this music is written for alto saxophone. So when I call him, I hit him up. I was like, "Yeah, bro, I would love for you to be part of this project, but it's alto saxophone." I'm like, "Are you down?" I asked him first. At first, I was like, "I don't know if he's gonna say yes or no because it's for alto." And it's like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And yeah, I mean, it came out great. Actually, after we recorded, he told me like, "Thank you for bringing my first instrument, my love for the instrument back." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, I used to play alto in Ray Barretto's New World Spirit band." I was like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah." When Miguel Sano departed from that band, I was the next in line. I up from Miguel in that band. I was like, "Oh." So he actually had a alto saxophone background as well. I just didn't know about it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, because I always think I remember him as a tenor player, and I saw him on alto. I was like, oh, my money, maybe he did that. Because I know myself, I moved to New York as an alto player, and then I made the switch. So that's that's it. Something about coming to New York. We just the tenor calls us. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing that in New York City, tenor saxophonists are like, oh my god, you can't even count them. There's like millions, billions of tenor sax. Like you lift this pillow right here, there's like 5 tenor saxophone.
Right, exactly.
The book, it's like extends. It's like, oh my, but alto saxophone is like, oh, and the ones that are out there, they're always busy. You know what I mean? So that was a little bit challenging, man. Because there are not a lot of like saxophonists, alto saxophonists out there. Compared to tenor saxophonists.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ivan was just the first option that came to mind, the first name that came to mind. Fernando, he actually, I originally called another drummer called Joel Mateo.
Okay.
He's another Puerto Rican drummer, which is great, and he also fully bilingual, both jazz and Latin music. But Joel, thank God, he's very, very, very busy man. Very busy man. So yeah, because of this schedule conflicts and whatever, I called this other Puerto Rican drummer called Fernando Garcia. And we had a session together, me and Mateo and also Ivan. And from the first tune, he just was like the perfect piece for the puzzle because he also has been playing and experimenting with Afro-Puerto Rican rhythms and jazz for a while. Gotcha. He has I think 3 or 4 albums on his own as a leader, and he's also in Afro-Puerto Rican music, Afro-Cuban music as well. But he's been experimenting with these rhythms and applying these rhythms to the drum set for a while. So as soon as we played the first tune, we tried him out. He was just the perfect piece, and it fit perfectly to this project. Very, very happy and honored to have him. And we have the same. We are connected through the mission. We also want to promote, and we want to highlight also, all this Afro-Puerto Rican rhythms, Afro-Puerto Rican jazz as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson Mateo Gonzalez, he is, the obvious choice for the barril level or bomba drum. Mm-hmm. He was born and raised in this tradition of in the Puerto Rican folklore tradition, through his grandfather Benny Ayala, God rest his soul. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's been playing this rhythm since he was a toddler, pretty much. And yeah, his knowledge of the Afro-Puerto Rican folklore is vast. Mm-hmm. But like what we had to work on was like bring him into the jazz side. You know what I mean? He knows all the rhythms. He knows the language better than everybody because he's been speaking it since he was a toddler. But bring him to the jazz side, and like experimenting with it, and like be free and listening and the interplay, and the instant creativity and instant freedom that jazz gives you is what we have to work a little bit,
Gotcha.
In the beginning, while we were learning the music and learning the concept and the breaks and everything, it was we were all a little bit overwhelmed with it. But as we kept playing, we kept gigging, we kept doing sessions, I saw that he was getting more free, more involved. He was he listened to something, and then he automatically reacted to it, and he was started to have conversations, with the rest of the band and with the music, And I was like, bro, if you listen to something and you feel something, just go for it, Just play it, go for it. It's, there's no bad options, like Miles Davis said, there are no bad notes, know. So yeah, I mean, we were cooking for a while, and yeah, by the time we were in the studio, we were already connected, and it has gotten better and better and better and better ever since.
Oh,
so that's how the band came together. Yeah.
That's nice, man. I like to hear that. I mean, it's nice to hear that synergy is happening, evolved, and it came off on the record, and it's still evolving. That's always a nice thing. So this will be a nice configuration for you for the foreseeable future with this project.
Oh yeah. I'm already thinking. I mean, it's impressive because it's supposed to, it's releasing on the Friday, but I'm already thinking about the next one.
I know how that is. It's like as soon as they get done, it's like, oh, what can I do the next one? And at least for me, I'm always like, I got the music, but it's the funding part. it's always funding the record that always puts everything on hold.
yeah, man. I got my little notebook, man, and I'm already writing some notes, some ideas for the next one. Yeah, that's how it is, man. We just artists, we're always thinking about the next one. Always thinking about the next one. What's next?
Exactly. I mean, I think it's we have to. I mean, at least for me, I know it's like I can't turn it off. So I mean, I might as well accept it. Yeah. I wanted to go back to something you were saying about you're on a mission to kind of promote the Puerto Rican folklore music and rhythms. I think that's awesome. I see other musicians like David Sanchez and Miguel Zenon doing similar things. Have you had conversations with them, and how have they might have influenced you with this with the mission that you're on right now?
Yeah, conversations directly, no, I have not. But they inspire me tremendously through their work.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like conversation directly, not really, but the inspiration and the feedback, like I see, what they're doing, you can, see the writing on the wall, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And David, with his album, I think it was 2000 album called Melaza.
Mm-hmm.
And Miguel, he's ever since the Jibaro project that he released, also in the early 2000s, you can see the trend, and you can see the music and what he's doing and what he's been about for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about being here in the continental U.S. that just connects us as Puerto Ricans, in the Caribbean, there's something about that just connects connect us more to our homeland, to our island, our culture, our heritage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've been the musical director of Los Pleneros de la 21 for quite some years now.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, being part of that band has helped me and has made me focus more on my culture and my music, without losing, the line of sight. Because I
Mm-hmm.
moved here to New York, to play with the masters, and play with as much people as I can and grow as a musician and as a person as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wanted to focus on jazz, African American jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, thank God, I'm doing great. Um, but also, everybody kept asking me, "Yo, like, when are you gonna release your next album?" Because I actually have an album from 2012 back in Puerto Rico.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I apologize.
Yeah, no, a lot of it was released locally, so a lot of people don't know about it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that was my first album back in 2011, 2012.
Uh-huh.
And people kept asking me, when are you gonna release your next album? When is your own music is gonna come out? What's up with your writing? It's like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready because I
Mm-hmm.
felt that I really didn't have a mission or a purpose or anything. Really, I just was just focusing on being a bass player, being a sideman, and learning and absorbing as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I said to myself, if I'm gonna have something out there, it's gonna have a purpose, gonna have a mission, or reason to be out there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was just I didn't have that until now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with everything that happened, and my reconnection with my culture, with my people, with my identity as a Black Puerto Rican man in the United States, and also being here in New York for almost 10 years now and playing with all these great jazz musicians, and Latin jazz musicians and all different kinds of peoples and culture, it everything came together and all these ingredients just I just put them in the pot, in the casserole, to brew them, as a stew, as a soup. And
Mm-hmm.
now I can see more clearly what I'm about. I can see more clearly in this moment, right? Tomorrow it can change. You never know. But in
Uh-huh.
this moment right now, that I can see clearly what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want my culture, my identity, my music, my country, mixed with the jazz, and the United States, New York experience, the African American experience, and combine all of that together and to put in this beautiful project and this music out, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, I mean, that's good that you have that concept too. I mean, and I think that probably will, you know, be fortuitous in the future with future writings and stuff. Um, that kind of makes me wonder about the next question. So the album's dropping this Friday. What are your plans for once it comes out? Like, I know you're gonna probably celebrate a little bit and everything, and then after,
Oh, to be honest with you, man, gigs.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Gigs.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You got to celebrate on the bandstand, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Just the album is coming this Friday, but it ain't gonna change. I mean, it's gonna. I honestly, I tell my wife this all the time. Um, that I just wanted to put this music out there. I just wanted to get this done and get this documented
Hmm.
because it's as honest and as authentic as it comes. Because it's like I mentioned early in the interview, it's the combination of all these experiences that I was going through, and to
Hmm.
put that in music, in art, that's what I wanted to do, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I just wanted to get the music documented, and it is already documented,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna wake up, and I'm gonna go back into the computer, and try to book as many gigs as possible.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's out there now, so now it's what you want to share. Get the people got to get the live experience. Exactly.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm excited, man. It's coming out this Friday to be available, on iTunes, Bandcamp, and all these platforms. So, for those out there checking out this video, please run out and get it. It's coming out Friday, February 11th, 2022. I can't believe it's 2022 already. I gotta keep reminding myself to say that.
Takes a while. It takes a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we had, I said, at Occhi magazine, and of course, Truth Revolution Recording Collector. Man, congrats on the new upcoming album, man. And yeah, man, we look forward to more things coming in the future from you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's what's next, and celebrate this one, but also thinking and planning to the next one.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It's always pushing. That's our nature. Oh man. Well, thank you for your time, man. And we'll check back with you soon and see how things are going. Thank you again for joining us, man. This is Alex Apolo Ayala and his new album Bámbula coming out this Friday, February 11th, 2022.
Thank you, Darryl. Thank you for having me, man.
No problem, man. We'll get up soon.
All right, bro.